going on, Socialites? Welcome to a very special 1 year anniversary, I guess, episode battle, whatever you want to call this. So, way back when, before we started doing YouTube a year ago, the society still existed. We only started YouTube in season 2, which you know what that means. It means there was once a season 1. Yeah. Mind blowing, right? So, we used like Facebook groups and stuff, and the only battle ever recorded for that season is the season 1 finals between your Boston Braviaries and the now defunct Detroit Steelix. But that is the battle we're going to watch today. We're going to look back at how yours truly got the first trophy. But, you know, son, we got to get that trophy. This battle is how you earn a trophy. So, as you can see, we have Dragapult, Piloswine, Rotom Heat, Haxorus, Gastrodon, and Gmax Corviknight. This was before like the team preview was together. He has Dracovish, Umbreon, Mimikyu, Gmax Lapras, Arcanine, and Roserade. So you could swap Pokemon around between the games. You could only Gmax your Gmax Pokemon. You might see my reflection because this was before I had a capture card and we had to record on our TV. Oh, he brings Phalanx, not Roserade. Roserade's a different one. But yeah, so... Oh, we had to restart for something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but we had to restart for something. Oh, because I only chose 3 Pokemon apparently. That's how a champ does it. Scout out the opponent. But yeah, so in this season, we were 5-3. I think we were the 3rd seed. And the Detroit Steelix, they were like 7-1. They were the 1 seed. That's why there's the curse of the 1 seed up until your boy with his perfect season in season 4. But yeah, we had, I believe it was Grimmsnarl as our S tier for a while. And we swapped it late for Dragapult. Like, no one picked Dragapult, right? That's how this league was. Like, no one picked the GOAT Dragapult for this, but we got Dragapult, and you can see it kind of opened us up. So we did the same leads. So we got Rotom Heat taking on Phalanx. We go for an overheat. We're just trying to get big damage off. And we bring him down to a sash. Is he going for a no retreat? He is. So that's pretty scary. We are Choice Scarf, so I want to say we should still be faster. But maybe I was playing a bulky Rotom back in those days. So we're expecting like a close combat here. So we go into Dragapult. He does go for the close combat. So we take that. Now we can just try and U-turn out of here. And we're even faster than him plus, so that's great for us. We get the first knockout. Dragapult doing his thing, coming in a switch in and getting a KO. So I talked about how big pickup Dragapult was, and we're going right back out into Pivot. So, yeah, this is a bulkier Rotom, I remember, because I named him Pivot. Pivot! Who else is watching the Friends reunion? It's tomorrow, so you might as well. Got HBO Max. Let's see what he brings out here. Vicious, the Dracovish, of course. We knew this day would come. And try and get a Thunder Wave off here. We missed the Thunder Wave. Crippling. He goes for Outrage, not for Vicious Rend, so that's going to allow us to get a try for another Thunder Wave here. Or now that we know that he's into Outrage. Oh, well, we're Scarfed, so. We can go into Corviknight. Yeah, I don't hate trying to get the Thunder Wave off again. Okay, that's good. That'll help us for later. He can knock us out with this Outrage. So you can see the stuff, like, obviously I've learned even more through competitive battling. You can go back out into Dragapult, and Dragapult's going to drop a Draco on this boy. Like, whatever wants to switch in here is nothing. Detroit, they knew a paralyzed Dracovish is a dead Dracovish. Bop. Dragapult, second KO. He's thinking, man, I should have clicked that Vicious Rend and taken out that Rotom. Could have still been clicking buttons. Next is Mimikyu. So, Haxorus with the Iron Tail, one-hit KOs Mimikyu with the Mold Breaker. But I was a little weary that he might just try and go for Play Rough here. He does go for the Swords Dance. So maybe we would have been alright with Haxorus. But we can break the Disguise with Ice Shard. If he wants to get real cheeky, he could go, like, for another Swords Dance here. No, he just goes for Wood Hammer, which the recoil is actually going to be really nice for us. So he does take out our Palosline. Palosline was real big for us all that season, I remember. So yeah, you see how much damage he gets. So now we don't even have to worry too much with Haxorus. We can just click Earthquake. For the Shadow Sneak. Look for a crit, perhaps. Get the Earthquake off. So you see that this match is kind of just like a bunch of one-for-one-ing. We're both waiting to use our Dynamax Pokemon. You know, I'm using Corviknight as my Dynamax Pokemon. Not the best, but it nicely counters his, removing the screens that Lapras sets up. So it's not the worst. And it's also pretty good against, like, Mimikyu, which was one of his, like, strongest guys. Close combat, pop, 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 pop. Not enough to take out Midnight, however. A bulky Umbreon. Umbreon does go for the foul play, which will knock out our Haxorus. We can, of course, go back out into our Dragapult to get yet another KO. We're just going to keep dropping Dracos on these boys. I remember in our first match, during the regular season, Detroit won, so we went to time because it was my Gastrodon versus his Umbreon, and neither of us could break through each other. So we went to time, and then I was like, oh, let's just do a 3 versus 3, and his team is really good in 3v3, and this was also before we had Dragapult and everything. So, like, Mimikyu Dracovish really destroyed us. So here, he's down to Lapras. I believe is his last Pokemon now. So we're in pretty good shape. We got 3 really strong Pokemon. Goes for the Resonance. Does some good damage on Corviknight, but Corviknight's just here to eat some hits. And now we can assume that he might go for like either a Max Lightning or a Max Geyser, both of which, yep, Gastrodon can eat up. We could even have clicked like Recover here. Wouldn't have been bad. Geyser doesn't work because we are Storm Drain. He was probably just testing what sort of ability we had. Although back in this, you could swap abilities as well between the rounds. Like, we've made it a lot more manageable since then. So we successfully stall out his Dynamax. He's probably going to have Freeze Dry. I think here I would have just sacrificed Big Slug. Save Corviknight for like later. Oh, he actually has Sheer Cold, which is actually really scary. Takes out Corviknight. With Sheer Cold, I probably would have just gone back into Gastrodon and be like, what the heck can you hit me with then? We can go for Thunder here with Infiltrator on Dragapult, so this should one-hit KO Choice Specs Dragapult. Bop. And with that, Boston. Oh, does he have one left? Oh, he had one left this whole time. Oh yeah, his Arcanine. Oh, that changes things then. I'm glad I kept that Gastrodon. I should be paying attention to how many Pokeballs he has. into the slug. Snarl. And we're fine here. We could just toxic and keep recovering. Pretty standard. This was also an annoying thing that he did a lot. He would use burn up to get rid of his fire type. But now we got him on the timer, and again, we can just keep recovering. Yeah, so this is the best 2 out of 3, so we take game 1 pretty handily, actually. It's very nice. And again, we're just gonna keep hitting, recover. No reason not to. Just let the poison do its thing. This was also, we allowed moves from previous generations, which was huge because, again, in our first match, I couldn't break through his Umbreon, so that's why I really wanted Toxic for Gastrodon. Yeah, see, that was a crit. Nothing. Almost there. What's that? Maybe 2 more turns? See, people saying you can't do a 6v6 with the timer. Look at this. Look at this Gastro boy. Rocking it. No, I feel like I'm pretty good with the timer though, so maybe that's not fair to say to some people. And with that, Gastrodon will take down Arcanine with Toxic. And your Boston Braviaries take game 1 of the Season 1 Finals. So, I'm going to skip forward a little bit because we do some stuff. We move some Pokemon around. I bring him on top on here. I don't know why. Let's see. Alright. So yeah, so I actually dropped my G-Max Corviknight for Hitmontop, and he dropped Arcanine for Roserade. Very interesting. Very interesting. So we're going to go with the same lead here. Not having our Gigantamax is kind of an issue. Just because even though Corviknight's not the best, right, it's still like, okay, doubling your HP, that just gives you even more bulk. And then, like I said, the G-Max Wind Rage clearing the screens. Although we'll see in the last game that that doesn't really work. Alright, so he goes straight off with his G-Max Lapras. He probably saw I didn't have my G-Max and was like, okay, I'm gonna try to punch a hole in you. Obviously, he saw last time I led off with Rotom, so it makes sense for him to predict that I would lead off with Rotom again. We get a Volt Switch off here. We go on to Paloswine. Gastrodon was definitely the better play. Yeah. Like now, knowing what I know, I would have gone into Gastrodon, right? Because he's not going to click Resonance in this. He's going to click Geyser. And Paloswine is just going to die here. So, not the best move from your 3-time champ here. Again, you can see I wasn't what I am now. I've been forged through the crucible. Yeah, and I kind of throw this away. So again, Dragapult KOs Lapras when it's regular, not when it's Dynamax. So I kind of like misread my own calc here. So now we're kind of throwing away game 2. We could have gone to Gastro, been fine, you know. We had done something like Gastro into Rotom, back into Gastro, like, that would have been good. That would have been good play to stall out his Dynamax. Knowing what he has. We have no way of clearing these screens now. Axris is going to get a little bit of revenge. Again, I'm pretty sure he had Light Clay, so he's got like 4 more turns of these screens or something ridiculous. Here comes Mimikyu. We can go for the Iron Tail. But even if we connect, I don't think it'll be enough with the screens up. Yeah, you see, just barely hangs on. And he goes for the play rough. He doesn't bother trying to set up, as he shouldn't. Takes us down. And that means that he still has his disguise up. I think here I'm thinking like, okay, I can go for like Sucker Punch. Kill him with his own disguise. And then what if he just goes for like a Swords Dance? But he shouldn't, right? He should expect that I'm going to do something. So we do get the Sucker Punch off, which will knock his disguise. Is enough to take him out. Thank God. But we're still, well, we're down 4-3. So it's not horrible, but we are down Dragapult, who's our best kind of counter here. Retreat, and he gets it off first, which is huge for him because he gets that plus defense raise. think here I would go into Gastrodon. Well, what am I saving Hitmontop for? Because Gastrodon's still going to take a lot of damage here. Like, I kind of need Gastrodon to keep Dracovish in check. I go for a Mach Punch. This isn't going to do like anything. Close combat should be enough to KO us. Now we gotta click super strong overheats to try to break through here. It is enough to take down Phalanx. But this is gonna invite Dracovish in. The Aurora Veil does wear off. Wow, that KO'd through the Aurora Veil. That's pretty crazy. Like I said, that lasted 7 turns. I totally forgot I was even there. Alright, here comes Umbreon. So he can click, like, his Umbreon was so annoying. It had, like, Confuse Ray, Moonlight, Foul Play, and I think Toxic. Here's a very annoying Stally Umbreon. He swaps out. He's going into his Roserade. We get hit, but not that it really would have mattered. Because the Toxic wouldn't have worked anyway. So we gotta go back into Rotom here. Again, if I had done some better switches early in this game, we're talking a 2-0 sweep. But now we gotta work for it. Yeah, he lays Toxic Spikes. So he just wants, you know, when Gastrodon comes back in. He swaps out. Who's he going into? Okay, he goes back into Umbreon. This is a super strong overheat. Doesn't even do 50%. Can you believe that? He's got us in a real tough situation here. Like, we got to keep switching around. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to predict, like, the double switch into another double switch. So, like, automatically switch out Gastrodon here into Rotom, and then Volt switch back into Gastrodon. You see all the recovers in the world. Yeah, so we're going to automatically go for the double switch. He also goes for the switch. Problem is that Gastrodon's going to keep taking that poison damage. Going back out into Umbreon. So Umbreon's actually not going to, like, will this be enough if we can click this twice? Let's see. Yeah, so we can click this again. I'm pretty sure it's close. Fish now. Which definitely forces us out. Then he could switch. He could hard switch right here into Roserade. He opts for the Outrage instead, which does do some good damage on us. We can recover here. Like, this is a grindy game. Man, I miss these grindy games. Like, look how long this game is going, but I feel like so much has happened. He takes us out, though, which is super unfortunate. So we can go back out here. And what I do next got a little bit of heat. But I didn't exactly know what item he had. So that's why I clicked Trick. I'm trying to like figure out, okay, are you Bandit or are you Scarf? And I find out that he's Scarf. He gets confused. And then he probably could have just tried to click it again. Like, because I'm locked into Trick, right? He switches out into Umbreon. Which we already knew Umbreon was the leftovers. Now we're trying to like cheese some Thunder Waves off here. But the game's over, right? He just has to bring in Dracovish and click Vicious Rend here. You saw the Synchronize. Didn't affect us because we're electric. Bzz, bzz, electric. I mean, it's crazy to look back on this battle. Oh, the camera just got shifted there. Roserade. We're just gonna spread paralysis around. Like, we're just waiting for the Dracovish to come in. I don't know what he's waiting for. Overheat, we pick up another KO for freebies. Now he should bring Dracovish in. We've gotten back up to green, though, thanks to these leftovers. Thanks, Umbreon. Yep, here comes the Dracovish. It'll click that Vicious Rend. Knockout pivot. And so we tie this up 1-1 now with that loss. Detroit picks that up, and we got to go to a game 3. So we're bringing back Corviknight here. So we see he stays with the same team he had last game. We bring back our team from game 1. So we won game 1. We're bringing that team back. He won game 2. He's bringing that team back. So I mean, what else you gonna expect here? The Boston Braviaries, the Commish, taking on the #1 seed Detroit Steelix. Ooh, look at this. This is how Game 1 started, which we like to see. We know what this does. We could just Volt Switch here, break his sash. Or we could get real tricky, and trick the Scarf away. But I think we want to hold on to that. Okay, he goes into Dracovish, which is a decent switch for him. If we had Volt Switch, would have been huge. And the key is just we don't want him to fish his Rend. Always go into Gastrodon here, let him waste his turns with Outrage. Earthquake isn't going to do anything to us. Earthquake is interesting. Why Earthquake? What did he change up here? I think... we're going to go back into Pivot here, it looks like. But why Earthquake? Is that like a bait? Is he no longer choice locked? Okay, he switches out. Goes into Mimikyu, which we're fine with. Because we're going into Corviknight. We can just Brave Bird to break this disguise here. Can't let him fool around too much because he could just do a few Swords Dances. Poor Piloswine. This just seems like it's my sack Pokemon here. Yep, see, you got another Swords Dance up. And he might even be able to just Shadow Sneak here. I'm going to try and do some more damage with this Ice Shard. Play Rough connects. That's going to take out Piloswine. Poor Piloswine. The Pig Boy didn't deserve it. Life Orb helps us so much. Like, Haxorus is going to take big damage from a Shadow Sneak. Like 4 times Life Orb. I don't even know if we survive that, to be honest. Here's Shadow Sneak. This is going to really hurt. Oh my god, we survive at 5 HP. I don't know if that's a roll or not. I want to look that up. Is that a roll? I am looking that up. This actually says max it should only do 88%, so Maybe, I didn't have max EVs or IVs on Haxorus. Alright, we do big damage onto Phalanx. He's gonna get the revenge kill though. But Haxorus did its job. It's there to outspeed Mimikyu, kill that, and do big damage to something else. We go back into pivot. And just volt switch around. Ooh, he swaps out, which is nice for us. Why? I'm surprised he would express this so overheat there. Nice damage on the Vicious. The Dracovish. We can just go into our boy Big Slug. We can eat whatever he throws at us. We can throw off some Earth Powers. We can do a Toxic. That Volt Switch was nice damage. We got him on the back foot now here. He goes into Roserade. Nice chunk from that Earth Power. No special defense drop. Roserade's most likely gonna go for the Toxic Spike again, I would assume. We still have our Dynamax, so does he, of course. Leaf Storm, we quad resist this. Nothing, nom 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 nom. Like, we're just putting the pressure on him here, and it's great. He has to swap again. This time into Umbreon. We use Umbreon as setup fodder. We're not too worried about anything that it can do because we got Roost. Confuse Ray, so annoying. I tell you, I hated this Pokemon. I hated this Pokemon. This exact one. Corviknight bops himself. Unfortunate. This Iron Defense, though. We don't have to worry about anything that Umbreon's doing. He does switch out here. Goes into his Dynamax. We bop ourselves again, which is really unfortunate. Now, a Max Geyser here, or a Max Lightning would be real bad. So, thankfully, we got our boy Big Slug. He might just try to click Sheer Cold. And we still don't know if he has the Freeze Dry. Like, this is an obvious switch. So if he has the Freeze Dry, then it's GG. Okay, so he does Dynamax. That's probably the best thing for us on this switch. The worst things would have been number 1 Freeze Dry, number 2 he hits with a Shield Cold. This is technically, I guess, the number 3 worst thing. Unless he, if he's resonance in. Yeah, he does go for resonance, so this is on the list the third worst thing, and we still don't take that much, so we can actually recover this off pretty nicely. And once again, stall out his Gigantamax. Get healthy again. We can click that one more time. Get basically up to full health. Or we can click Toxin. I probably would have recovered again. Again, that's looking back on newbie Ryan. He successfully stalled his Dynamax. He doesn't really get anything other than a few more turns of screens. Is he gonna go for the... He does have the freeze dry, so he finally reveals this whole time that he had the freeze dry. The worst case scenario of us switching in onto a freeze dry could have happened. Gonna Dynamax, we're gonna get rid of his screens. He can't sheer cold us while we're maxed. He does have Thunderbolt to do good damage against us. So, as you can see, we're actually not Gigantamax Corviknight. We messed up here. We actually don't get the benefit of clearing his screens like we should have. We get a speed boost, which doesn't really matter all that much. Doesn't affect us while we're... Gigantamax, is the poison enough to take it out? It is. So again, the speed boost didn't matter there because he was going for sheer cold when it worked. We knuckle and then he dies anyway. And then he's got his Dracovish with Scarf, so the speed boost doesn't matter against the Dracovish. Does go for the Vicious Rend, which isn't enough to take us out. He actually survives. The Airstream, which is pretty crazy. Now here, technically, we would have been faster, but he swaps out anyway. Don't know really what he was predicting here. I I mean, Fish's Ren just, like, kills everything, right? Was that an Umbreon? So from here we can roost. Maybe. Trying to pick the KO with the foul play with us at the +1 attack. Now we got the momentum here. He does go for the Confuse Ray. We're going to try and set up here. It is a little awkward. We actually don't hit ourselves this time, which is huge. I think I did the math, and at +4 defense, we do enough to 2-hit KO through Moonlight. We hit ourselves, which is unfortunate. Snap out of confusion. We go for the Brave Bird. This should knock out Rose Raid. Brings out Dracovish. Dracovish is still faster, able to get the Fish's Ren, but with our Iron Defense, we're able to take it out. So if he had stayed in with the Dracovish that turn instead of switching out, he would have picked up the KO on Corviknight. Umbreon comes out. And Umbreon is the last vestige of hope. I think we're only at +2 here. But you see that we 2-hit KO. So he goes for foul play. We got enough health. We can survive this. Barring a crit. Corviknight should have swept. But that'll leave our boy, Dragapult, to pick up this final KO. Just stalling this freaking Umbreon. This match going to the wire. Draco gets off, it connects, takes down that son of a bitch Umbreon, and that's why you're looking at the champion, Season 1, Season 2, Season 4. That's how it all started, and it's crazy to think it's been over a year since that, in a year that we've been on YouTube. So thank you guys for watching, and as always, stay classy, society. Here's to another year.